There came a sound of a mighty wind. The house around them shook. A sign of fire lit the darkness, and the gift of language was unlocked. We are cursed with a failure to communicate. Cell phones, satellites, and computer networks give us an incredible ability to speak to each other, yet we just can't seem to connect. One of mankind's oldest stories, told in the book of Genesis, paints a picture of how people first became disconnected. It tells of a distant time when humanity had a single language, a single city, a single goal: to defy God by building an endless tower to the sky, the Tower of Babel. Their pride and ambition resulted in a frightening punishment, a confusion of languages, causing division, dispersion, war. With darkened minds, people went their own way, crafted their own idols, settled in every corner of the earth. Some of them settled in the lands surrounding Mount Ararat. But God never forgot his scattered people, and in the fullness of time, he opened new lines of communication. The time is weeks after Christ has been crucified, resurrected, and taken into heaven. The place is the upper room in a house of Jerusalem, where the disciples are huddled together, frightened, unsure about what to do next, waiting for something to happen. Suddenly, the house shakes with the sound of a mighty wind. The disciples can feel the Holy Spirit descending, hovering over each of them in the form of fire, a tongue of flame. And when they burst out of the house into the public square, they discover they've been changed. Suddenly, they can speak the languages of the world. This is the miracle of the day we call Pentecost. You might say it was the day the church was born. Christianity is about to grow from a small group of followers into an international movement, reaching every corner of the globe. The disciples, the students of Jesus, will now graduate into apostles, messengers, or emissaries, who will travel the world to spread the great good news about Jesus Christ. And they will spread the news in the native languages of the world's people. The modern languages that we speak today didn't exist back then, but Armenian, our own mother tongue, was there. Tradition says it was one of the tongues spoken by the apostles on Pentecost. It was the Holy Spirit's gift to the apostles Thaddeus and Bartholomew, a gift they would use in their chosen quest to bring the light of Christ to the ancient land of the Armenians. We are told that they carried other gifts with them on their journey, an icon of the Mother of God, and a relic of the crucifixion, the spear that pierced the side of Christ as he lay on the cross. As Thaddeus and Bartholomew traveled on foot, east and north, the landscape became colder, more mountainous. But they pressed on, driven by the words given them by Jesus Christ himself. Go and make disciples of all nations. What they found in Armenia was a kingdom torn by civil strife and war. For the people, it was a time of confusion, insecurity, and doubt. Their old pagan gods no longer gave them comfort, but they knew no other way. Saints Thaddeus and Bartholomew would show them that new way. They would communicate a new message of peace, assurance, and hope in their familiar native tongue. Because they led our ancestors out of darkness and into the light of Christ, Thaddeus and Bartholomew are referred to in our church as the first enlighteners of the Armenian people. I will pour out my spirit on all my people, promised the Lord. The miracle of Pentecost saw that promise fulfilled. The age-old curse of Babel would be reversed as God reestablished new lines of communication with his children and gave us the possibility of healing the fractures that divide us. As for Saints Thaddeus and Bartholomew, thanks to them, we had the distinct privilege of being named an Arakelagan Yegeketsi, an apostolic church. The churches we worship and pray in today began with the seeds they planted in the soil of Armenia 2,000 years ago. And that was just the beginning of the story.